A group of eager young adults from across the U.S. are preparing to run a summer camp. They have all their lessons worked out, packed up all the craft supplies, and are eager to get started. But this is no ordinary summer camp. They will face bigger barriers than just blindness.
These people that have nothing really, and to see the love that they have, even for one another, and the love that they have to offer to us, it's an amazing experience.
India is a land full of contrast. It's a land of great mystery and beauty. It's a land of unspeakable despair. But traveling through India, one thing is for sure. It's a land filled with people who should never be underestimated. For the last 40 years, Asian Aid has invested in the futures of people who have never been given such a chance, and their investment has proven infinite returns. Driven by the vision of Helen Eager, dedicated to helping those who have the least, Asian Aid is an organization implementing diverse development projects and sponsoring thousands of children. Their outreach spans from Bangladesh to Nepal, Sri Lanka, and beyond, from remote villages and empty fields to sprawling centers of education, from nothing to the unimaginable. Now, Asian Aid decided to document the work it has been doing all these years with a desire to show the world what is possible by digging wells in remote villages for clean drinking water and bringing much-needed health care to the women of Nepal, by providing an education for orphans, deaf, and blind children, giving them a sense of place, a home. But what we really discovered was being given was hope, giving hope to children, giving hope to women, giving hope to the ones who need it the most. This is Hope in Motion.
The Indian monsoon is in full swing in Boboli. The incessant rain is making life difficult for people whose life is already revolving around an endless cycle of poverty and hardship. But just away from the town, for some, their very existence depends on these annual showers. Cocooned among these rain-fed paddy fields is a refuge, a home for 160 blind children. Children who, unfortunately, do not see the showers, but nevertheless feel it. At the Asian Aid School for the Blind in Boboli, India, life is abuzz with energy and excitement, and it will be for the next 2 weeks. It's camp time.
I have worked at a summer camp, Camp Myvedin in North Idaho, for 10 years, and every year we have a week of blind camp. And I worked there with a girl named Tara Becker, who's the leader of this trip I'm on now, and she called me up and said, "Tyler, you've been the director of blind camp a number of years. Would you be willing to come and join us on our trip with Asian Aid to India?" I was like, sure, trip to India sounds amazing. So hopped on board.
Being the team leader on this trip was fairly easy just because of the team that was with me. Everyone is super experienced, has a lot of experience with camp, has some experience with blind, and they're also my friends. And so there are times where that was a little bit challenging because, you know, making decisions or trying to get everyone to, because we all love to joke around, and so, trying to say, okay, time to be serious or time to plan, and they were always willing to. They were really good about it, but it was, being a leader was actually fairly simple, just because the team that I was with, and they were so awesome. It definitely could not have happened without them. They were really great.
Tara and her friends chose the blind school, being run by Asian Aid in the town of Boboli in Andhra Pradesh, India.
Usually we have the volunteers that come here. They make a lot of difference because they bring out new ideas which we do not know. They might have been visiting different places, and the moment they come here, the teachers and the children, they keenly observe every visitor.
They decided to organize a 2-week camp for the blind children at the school. Apart from attending their regular classes, the children were treated to some colorful crafts, singing, games, and storytelling.
I've been working with these wonderful children and trying to teach them, hi sweetie. I've been teaching them some arts and crafts. And so we brought a lot of materials from the US, and I just wanted them to be very tactile. Crafts and art can be so tactile. It doesn't just have to be about your sight or what you see about art, but it can be what you feel. And so we used a lot of glue, and we made masks one day. Yep, really nice mask. This is such a nice mask. We used some tissue paper and we used feathers because you could feel them. And so the blind children didn't have to see to be able to do the crafts. They could feel and they could hear. That was really exciting to me to see sort of like, even though they can't see, they can still do art. And so that's what I really wanted to bring to this group.
Of course, the volunteers can bring some new ideas and encouragement to the children. I think it's really nice, and it's a blessing to the institutions when someone can come and maybe show them how to do things that they didn't understand how to do before.
So I'm going to sing it. I sing whisper prayer in the morning, whisper prayer at noon, whisper prayer in the evening to keep your heart in tune.
I actually felt blessed that I was chosen to do the music for this project because I thought, well, music, that's going to be a little bit easier than maybe other people have it who are working on this team, because everyone can connect to music at this school and things. So they all can learn new songs and sing along and have fun with instruments, and so that's been great.
The mission trip for me is really amazing to interact with a different culture. I think most of the time it's a bigger learning experience for me than it is for the people I'm speaking with. I'm come to learn a lot of things, and a mission trip for me is a big opportunity to learn. I hope I'm a blessing as well to them, and I think sometimes I am. But I think the interaction of cultures is really good.
Conducting a camp for 160 visually challenged children was not easy. From day one, the success of their camp was in immediate jeopardy.
And Jesus and what? Flower. The biggest challenge probably wasn't necessarily the sight. I think it was the language and the culture. We anticipated oftentimes that they can understand what we say, and it wasn't always the case. We would talk, and they wouldn't pick up what we were saying. And so we definitely needed an interpreter to help us translate our message across.
Girls, your ride's here. I love you. Have a good day at school. Bye. Bye.
See you tonight. Give my love to Mina.
I will. make a big difference every morning.
Sponsor a child with Asian Aid.
Well, I'm here at Sunrise Home with Joshua and these two lovely girls, and every morning their sponsors make a big difference in their lives, providing accommodation, providing clothing, providing food, and shortly they're going to walk down the road to the local Bobley Adventist school. And with sponsorship you can make a big difference every morning in the life of a child.
The Heartside group quickly finds out that just because some of them have run blind camps before, they've never run a blind camp in India. Even though the kids understand some English, it's difficult to understand the American accent, and Chris is at a loss.
And Jesus and what? Flower. We would talk and talk and talk, and they wouldn't pick up what we were saying. And so we definitely needed an interpreter to help us translate our message across. But when we were talking just one-on-one with the children, it seemed to be just I guess a language more of love than a verbal communication, where it wasn't really a challenge. But if we were trying to direct a group as a whole, that is where we found the challenge, was just simply talking in English and then trying to pick up what we were saying. So that's where we failed the first couple of days. We really had the challenge because we weren't using a translator. We were just believing in our hearts that they understood what we were saying. And oftentimes it wouldn't come through what we were anticipating. And then we began to use a translator, and that was very helpful.
With blind camps that I've done before this week, it's always been blind camps in the United States. I've worked with kids that speak my language, and so the communication barrier of not having sight to rely on was the only thing. But now I have a language barrier with kids that don't understand my English very clearly. I don't understand theirs very clearly. Plus they can't see. I can't explain with my body language. So it has been very difficult at times. But the translators have been very helpful. The kids are infinitely patient and willing to repeat things slowly, and they really strive to understand what I have to say to them.
Even though there's language barriers, and there's cultural barriers, and there's handicap barriers and other barriers, but no matter what, because of God's love and because of our love for each other, we can still build relationships. And that's what it comes down to in the very end, I think. The main reason I go on a mission trip is to make relationships with other people of a different culture, of a different understanding of the world, so that my understanding of the world isn't so narrow. My understanding of the world gets broadened by spending time with people who have a different view of things, and it's important.
We're headed to the Adventist school in the slum in Vaisak. We're going to be taking the kids out on a picnic to get them out of the slum and play some games and just love the kids.
Asian Aid is an organization that's been active in this area for a long time, focusing on children and the downtrodden community at large. In the town of Vaisak, Asian Aid has been running a school for the children from the slums. The Heartside team had this opportunity to visit the school and see firsthand how Asian Aid is bringing them hope.
Thank you, teacher. Thank you, teacher.
think our biggest plan was simply to show the kids love and to show them our presence, and through our presence comes the love. And I think we did accomplish that. I'd like to hope and think that we did.
I hope that we've had an impact. You know, we've made them laugh a lot, and we've made them smile, and I hope we've made them feel special.
Yesterday, we went to the Sunrise Orphanage, and we had church with them. So we did Sabbath school classes with them with different age groups, and then I took the sermon for the church service. And then we had lunch together, and after lunch, all of the kids and the staff, we went out to a river, and we went to the new Sunrise Orphanage location where they're building the new school. And it was great to see where the kids will be. And the kids just got to play in the open fields and the paddies, and then we went swimming in the river. That's right there on the property. It's a really beautiful location there as well, with a nice river, and all the kids went swimming and splashing, and we were throwing the frisbee and kicking around the soccer ball. And we just had a wonderful blessing of an afternoon with the kids.
Back at the blind school, it was time to wrap up their camp, and it was time for some reflection.
When we got the team formed, we decided that we needed a name, and so we called it Heart Sight Camp. And that was inspired from a book called The Little Prince, and there's a quote in there that says, "It is only with our hearts that we can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye." And for us, as we were preparing, as we were praying about this trip, we really wanted that to come through. That it didn't matter that they were blind. That really all that mattered was what was in their hearts and what was in our hearts as we came to do this. So that was kind of the inspiration as we planned. That was something that we really wanted to focus on, was just loving these children and hopefully leaving them with the idea that they are so special and loved in God's eyes and in ours as well.
Like all children, the children at the Mobley Blind School crave to be loved by adults. So when somebody comes there, anybody, they'll come around you and they're so full of love. These kids are very, very intelligent. They learn. And when you can learn computer when you're completely blind, I say, that is really something. That is pretty big time. So here again, God bless Asian Aid for placing this school there for the children.
I think that these children have done something really huge for me. The case has been for me over and over again that when you actually arrive, when you're face to face with them, even if they're disabled, they're blind. The kids at the school are blind, but they're full of dignity. You know, they're not walking around every day, all day saying, "Woe is me, I'm blind," or "Woe is me, I'm an orphan." They smile and they play games, and they have self-respect, you know? And I feel like that's important to remember.
Something that I will not soon forget is how no matter what ailment, no matter what tragedy, no matter what disability you're handed in your life, there's joy to be had. These kids sing so loudly, they play so hard. And it is easy for us in our lives to, when trouble comes our way, to get down and discouraged. But I know now that, or I'm reminded now that joy is in the Lord, no matter where you are, and He can bring that to you if you rejoice in Him.
Sometimes it's hard for me to love instantly like they do, but these children, they just love you instantly, which is so refreshing and such a good lesson because that is how God loves us. So they have benefited me so much, and my heart is full of India right now, and going home is going to be hard because I have so many memories here now, I have so many people that I love, but hopefully we can keep in contact.
2 days from now, you'll be with your family and friends, and when they come to you and ask you about your trip, what are you going to tell them?
I'm going to tell them they need to go visit India. And they need to come here just to see a whole different perspective on life, and to see how these children are, to see these people that have nothing really, and to see the love that they have even for one another, and the love that they have to offer to us. It's an amazing experience.
This Heart Side team that came, Tara and their group, they have really put up a lot of difference. They were able to win the hearts of the children because they have gone beyond their limits. Usually the visitors or guests who are arriving, they don't want to touch the children. And that's what, the touch, that's what makes them feel that they are a part of them. And that Heart Side team have really touched the heart of the children.
They came to love, to touch, to show them people care. But what they got in return was wholehearted love from children who spend their lives living in darkness. And having this opportunity, they learn to see through their hearts.
Right now at the end, what I want to do is leave it all out there on the field. And I want to give everything I have left and limp and crawl across the finish line. Let's love the kids with everything in our heart. Why not, right?
After this trip, I think there's probably going to be a lot more reflecting and soul searching and thinking. My worldview is bigger, and I feel like every time I do something like this, my capacity to love grows, and my understanding of how to do that grows. So hopefully as I go home and as I try to put into practice some of the things I learned, I hope that I'll be different. I don't know, but I hope that I won't be the same.
Hi, I'm Sean Boonstra, and I'm really excited to be an honorary ambassador for Asian Aid. Today, there are a lot of children in need of individuals who will step forward and provide them with the opportunity to receive an education. Asian Aid sponsors over 8,000 children in Adventist schools in India, Nepal, and Bangladesh. You can not only give them an education, but you can also introduce these children to Jesus. Why don't you join my family in sponsoring a child through Asian Aid and making a huge difference in their lives with sponsorship?